Harrisburg Stampede, Justin Coble with
I
us.
gotta change the freaking.
Oh, there it is.
Basically, they were
It's
playing
Major
Major League with the real game. Yeah.
Oh shit! There's the hat.
Welcome back to the second half of the show here. We hope you got your popcorn and your soda and your beer, your hot dog, or whatever you want to have here after halftime. We're going to talk about a little
hot dogs.
I thought you were going to say beer, but
That too. Beer dogs.
yeah, you can do that. So MLB has released their spring training schedule.
Officially starts February 22nd.
I can't wait. And you can ask my wife this. We were both talking about it over Christmas vacation. We miss baseball. We do. We watch every Phils game. And not having baseball to watch, that is a void that needs filled during the off season, and it's tough.
Well, that's just any sport. When the season ends, it's like, oh, come on. Now what do I watch? What do I do now? But
So
no,
I'm looking.
I know baseball with my wife. Once she hears spring training's around the corner, she knows, great, spring's around the corner now. So it's, for her, it's like a sign of spring is around the corner.
Well, I mean, it's not MLB related, but I know that my daughter has softball signups next week on her birthday.
Oh, there you go.
While we were out running out getting gift cards for Christmas, we had to stop at Dick's Sporting Goods where I got my dad a Bushwood Country Club 1980 caddy tournament champion hat that he absolutely loved. We took a stop over to the softball section, and they actually had the composite bat I wanted to get her there, and she took a few swings with it and liked it. So I'll probably spend the money on that bat for her for this season.
Oh, the joys of sports.
Yeah, the joys of sports, or the joys of paying money for sports. That's because as a parent, I love seeing how my daughter has developed into quite the softball player since she started. However,
the cost of it all.
The last season, she went through 3 bats. She dented 2 fucking bats, David.
Oh, trust me. Let me tell you this one. The girls want to go ice skating more. Okay?
All right.
That's perfectly fine. There's a potential, because it has been brought up, that they want to play hockey. Great, fantastic, wonderful. I'll be more than happy. But think of that price tag.
Yeah, and there isn't local hockey.
Local hockey for us is Harrisburg or Sunbury.
I was going to say Palmyra.
Palmyra's Palmyra's an hour. A little over an hour.
But I think they have a team, don't they?
Yeah, they had. I mean, I used to play there. I used to play there for like a season or something.
Okay.
I mean, so Harrisburg.
There's no roller hockey anymore.
There's no roller hockey anywhere anymore. You can't find. I'd love to find one just to start off this so I can be a goalie again. Because I am not going to pay. I'm not going to pay ice pad prices.
Right.
When a glove alone costs $200-$300. Yeah, I don't have that kind of cash just for a glove.
No, I get it. If Gianna could consistently swing, she's already a threat at the plate because she consistently gets on base either by getting a hit or by walking. She has a good eye. But if her swing was consistent, she'd be dangerous, man. And I'm saying that objectively because a lot of the girls on her team, if their swings were consistent, they'd be dangerous because when they do get a hold of them, they're ripping them.
Well, hey, that's great.
But anyway, we're off
Little off
topic
topic.
here. Yeah, just a
Shocking.
little bit.
Shocking.
So the Dodgers and Padres will face off in a Cactus League game less than a month before they play a regular season game in South Korea.
Interesting.
And the
And the
Rays
Grapefruit
and the
Leagues.
Red Sox will have a Grapefruit League game in the Dominican Republic. It'll be the first time that the MLB has played there since March of 2020.
Huh. So what are your hopes right now with the Phillies? Like what are you hoping to
I have
see
no hopes.
like change like any changes like that you are looking to see?
Um, I'm not going to be one to make predictions. I'm not going to be one to um
Well, it's
make bold
it
statements.
as I say, it's not making it a tradition. It's like, with Harper being at first now, are you looking at, are you hoping another change is made or
I personally, I would like to see them come out and start the season off a little hotter. They struggled those first 2 months of the year, and it showed. And they had to battle back. Um, I do think they are as good as the Braves. Just speaking with the AL East or the NL East and specifically, I think they are just as good as the Braves, if not better, but they have yet to show that in the regular season. The Braves have been dominant in the regular season, and they just choke. You choke. Deal with it. You choke. They choke in the playoffs, and that's no one's fault but the team's fault. Um, I have a lot of issues with Braves fans blaming everyone but the team for why they lost. Um, 10 play soft is what I would say. Anyway, um,
10 ply?
um, but the Phils have been notoriously late starters. They've also had, Harper didn't come back until right before June, and he didn't have his power yet. He wasn't playing in the field. He was strictly DHing. Um, and now, granted, it's not one guy that makes a team, but he was one of many issues that the team had. Turner had a rough first season in Philadelphia. Schwarber should not be a leadoff guy.
Well, there
Thank
was talk that he would not be a leadoff guy.
I
Like, I
saw
should
a
say
per,
there could be a change at leadoff.
I saw a hypothetical lineup with Turner at leadoff. Personally, just my personal opinion, I would have Marsh or Stott at leadoff.
I mean, to me, Schwarber should not have been leadoff at all because, when he gets hold of the ball, it's gone no matter what.
But I'd
You'd want
rather have people on base when he
exactly.
hits the
I mean,
ball.
I would put him like 4 or 5. That's just my
Um,
opinion. This way, so if people are on base, boom, there you go. He's on, he's on cleanup.
personally, for me personally, I would do Marsh, Turner, Harper, Schwarber, uh, Castellanos, Bohm, JT. Um, where am I at in the lineup here? I'm not. I'm drowning in numbers, is what I'm doing. Um,
Well, it is
Rojas would be
11:30,
batting
so
last, but
life. Okay,
yeah, life. He'd be batting life. It's late. I'm struggling here.
I
The
think we're all
Fresca's not
struggling.
doing it, man. Um,
I think we're all struggling at this point.
would you like a Fresca, Billy? Anyway, um,
Sure, why not?
that's like that's the second reference I've made to Caddyshack tonight. Um, um, I just
Freaking
think Marsh
Caddyshack.
is such a threat on the base path with how fast he is. I would love to see him at leadoff. Having someone like that at leadoff, he's someone who can leg out it. He can take a double into a triple, and he can take a single into a double. And if you
Yeah.
have him on first, he's a threat to steal. You're already fucking with the pitcher then by having him at first because he's a definite threat. And then you have Turner up to bat. You're not going to know whether to scratch your ass or wind your watch if you're the pitcher. So,
Yeah. Scratch your ass for one watch.
or scratch your watch and wind your ass. I don't know, but
Whatever you're into, I guess.
Skip, I don't know what I'm supposed to do out here. Anyway, um, that's just my 2 cents. I mean, as far as obviously the World Series is the end goal for the Phils and for the fan base, but it's way too early to be talking about that.
Yeah,
I'm not thinking. I'm not thinking playoffs till like August.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, I'm not thinking World Series. I mean, yeah, that's every sports fan out there. That's originally what they always predict.
Yeah, well, some teams are just hoping to make it to the trade deadline.
Yeah.
Some of them might be statistically out by July. So
yeah. Like I said, I was just wondering because I heard, the change in the lineup with people moving around where, just at this point, what your thoughts are with it. So, yeah, it wasn't anything like for playoffs or World Series or.
I mean, I don't want them to be the champions of spring training. I think you don't want that either.
No.
I'd rather a middle of the road kind of spring training record.
Just something to, get the dust off.
Right. And I don't think it helped last season that a bunch of guys were in the World Baseball Classic too. I mean, Turner was red hot in the World Baseball Classic and then showed up to the Phils just
beat.
Not red hot. Yeah. Again, neither here nor there. So the Phils' first game is going to be against the Blue Jays on Saturday, February 24th at 1:07 p.m. The Blue Jays have been doing everything they can to build a contender, and they have yet to contend. And it's kind of sad because there's just a strong amount of talent on that Blue Jays roster. One of my favorite shortstops in the game is Bo Bichette, and he is on that Blue Jays roster, and they are in, without a doubt, the toughest division in baseball, and it shows because I think they'd be a killer team in like the NL Central or the AL Central. But they are in that AL East, which just like the NL East is a battle. Maybe even more so because all 5 teams in that division could be contenders any year. Personally, just because I know plenty of O's fans, and just due to local proximity, that's a young team. I hope they continue to play the way they're playing, and I hope there's no injuries for that franchise in the spring training. Because unfortunately, that's if injuries are going to creep up, it's either going to be during spring training or right at the end of the season when playoffs are going to start.
Well, that's always the case with anything. That's always the case with any sport. Injuries always happen either preseason, spring training, or right when it's a big playoff push, or right at the playoffs.
Yep.
And according to what I'm looking at the Phillies schedule, they open the regular season at home against the Braves.
Yep, nothing like starting it off against the division rival.
For 3 games.
And I got nothing wrong with that in my book. I'm game for it because I want to see that crowd show up and, pardon me, make it a playoff atmosphere.
Well, they say Philadelphia is just one of the hardest places to play, just in any sport, just because of the crowd level.
So I'm going to throw this out there, and it's just my own 2 cents. I think our fan base has gotten a little too nice.
Bring back booing Santa Claus?
Well, we never booed Santa. First off, Phil's fans didn't boo Santa Claus. That was Eagles fans. And it was a drunk Eagles fan that they threw in a Santa costume. So it wasn't even like an actual Santa performer. It was just some drunk idiot out of the stands. Hey, we'll give you $25. Okay. Buy more beer. Get me a Rheingold. That's a deep cut. Anyway,
Jeez,
I don't
man.
even know if they make Rheingold. They did then. I don't know if they do now.
Man, you're going
Um,
deep with a lot of these references.
it's one of those nights. I just feel like we've gotten too lovey-dovey as a franchise, or at least as fans. Um, we need to be bringing the trash talk to the teams when we're there, when they're there, I should say, when they're at Citizens Bank Park. I'm all for showing love to our team, and I'm all for respecting other franchises' fan bases within reason. Um, but our fan base is so well known now for being a supporting fan base that I think it's kind of taken some of the edge off, and the fan base needs to bring some of that back.
Yeah, because Philly's known for their trash talking. In better words.
I mean, I definitely did not chant Charlie's son at a guy who, in my section, who looked like Charlie Manuel back in 2007. I definitely did not do that.
So what you're saying is you're a nice Phillies fan.
And I definitely did not start a baseball Jesus chant because there's a guy that looked like Jesus wearing a Phillies jersey in the same section as well at that game.
Oh, why does that not surprise me?
And I definitely did not take part in a steroids chant that game either. Because
that one
Barry
too?
Bonds could have came
Ah,
up to bat.
there you go. By the
That
way,
is the famous Shane Victorino Day game where they were giving away a Shane Victorino hula figure, and he hit the walk-off home run to win the game. There were 4 of us left in our section that game because of how bad it rained. It was fantastic.
well, the game we went to was, even though it rained, it's still, we were still there.
Yeah, but there were more people at that game than there were at the one in 07 that I went with, the most famous soccer coach in Williams Valley history. Or as MLB fans know him, the toughest man in Philadelphia, who
Yeah.
is not from Philadelphia.
What's funny though is I saw that video again and I just lost it.
It holds up so well.
It does.
I'll never forget when someone shared it on his page
I
back
was
when he was
texting
active.
you. I was texting you right after I saw it. Are you watching this?
But I forget right like when it went viral on on YouTube, when it went viral on there, someone shared it on his Facebook page back when he was active on Facebook and said, "Dude, wrong sport. You're not supposed to header a baseball."
Oh, that was, yeah, because I remember texting you right after that. Just check it out.
Oh, he went there this past season and had seats in the exact same section. The exact seats.
That's funny.
10 years later. And amazingly did not get hit. So clearly he did not get a giveaway.
By the way, Rheingold shut down operations in 1976.
There you go. Oh, they would have been in operation when Santa got snowballs at them.
So, yeah, they're shut down in 76. Now you know.
Well, someone will bring it back.
Bring back Mr. Green.
If only. I wouldn't be drinking Fresca if Mr. Green was available.
Oh, Mr. Green.
I don't know if I have anything else to talk about because we didn't talk about spring training at all.
Yeah, we did a little bit, but sure, why not? I'm good.
Yeah, I'm fine with this.
So then I guess that would be the end of the second period.
Second half?
Second half, yes, sure. Second half. We'll go with that.
All right.
It's late.
It is late. This is gonna be a quick episode. But that's okay. We have those every now and then. So a couple of updates here on the show. We have 2 new t-shirt designs on our TeePublic site. David, do you want to clue the listeners in on that?
We did a parody of the NHL logo. So instead of NHL, just has NASPOD right across the shield,
Going
and
diagonal.
and we did our version of the USFL.
And it's sharp. Let me tell you, it is fantastic. I mean that the NASCAR one is great. I think this one is notches above the NASCAR one.
It took a while to make, but yeah, it is
But you
nice.
know what it shows? It shows that you put a lot of care and effort into it when you look at it. And I as your partner in this, I appreciate it 100% because I was the one to make the suggestion. Um,
Hey, we got it done, didn't we?
we did.
But yeah, those
And
would be available. If you go out, those be available. Let's say Sunday. I'll put those up probably Saturday, so they go up on Sunday.
they'll be up by the time you listen to this because this will probably post Sunday.
Pretty much. Hell, we'll be
So
snowed
as
in.
you're listening to this, go to T Public. They do sales like every day.
Oh yeah, I get text messages from every day.
They legitimately like at least every couple of days there is a sale. They are not having one right now though, so they are doing free shipping for orders over 80. But go to our T Public store. It is in the link in every episode. We got T-shirts, we got tank tops, we got hoodies, we got kids
Mugs,
shirts, mugs, stickers, phone cases, totes, wall art.
pins.
You know, we're gonna.
Well, we don't have totes. We don't have totes because of the design would just look too weird on it.
Okay, we don't have totes, but one day we will have condoms and toilet and coffins, so we'll get you coming and going. I stole that from Gene Simmons. I'm not even ashamed.
Oh, there's so much to be said.
Anyway, also in news, we will more than likely have owner and president of the Harrisburg Stampede, Jay Coble, on next episode to update us and you, the listener, on the happenings with the Harrisburg Stampede as their season nears. We are a little over 4 months away. Tomorrow will be 4 months officially away from the start of their indoor football season. No spoilers. I don't want to give anything away for you, the listener, but there is some big news that was announced this past week. And I'm sure Jay will give us all kinds of insight on what's going on. So more than likely bank on that being next episode based on my discussions with him. And we are also working on another big interview coming up. That's not in the near future. That's down the road. Hopefully that happens before May when they retire, because they are stepping down from the website they write for and created. If you're a longtime listener and you pay attention to me at all on this show, you're going to know the website. If you don't, I worry for you.
We should like a trivia.
Well, that's what I was thinking with that one background I had up earlier. What clips were in the background on that video? We'll send you a T-shirt or something. But let's get into the plugs. The 2216 podcast is hosted by our good friend Dave, along with his buddies Greg and Jake. It's a small town rural firefighting podcast where they share their experiences as first responders. You know, even if you're not in that realm, there's a lot that you can take away from it. So much so that there have been some times I've actually reached out to Dave based on some calls he has taken, just checking in on him, making sure he's all right. Because that's something I took away from the show. That, you know, he's a chief. He's more worried about his guys, making sure that they're okay after some of the bad situations they encounter, and there's no one checking in on him. So I just, doesn't take a lot to send a text just saying, "Hey, checking in on you. Hope you're doing okay." Um, you can find that wherever you get your podcasts. The other ship is the pop. God, let's try that again. Rewind. The other ship is the Pop Culture Podcast with a pro wrestling lean. You can find that wherever you get your podcasts. They always put out an entertaining product. Our buddy Matt from the former A Show, former guest of the show, he's back at it with the Chicken Salad Podcast. You can also find that wherever you get your podcasts. David, it's because you can't turn chicken shit into chicken salad. That's anyway. But
Glad we
he is
even want
back
to
with
know.
that podcast. Yeah, that's a pro wrestling podcast. He doesn't even know I'm plugging it. We were talking this week, and I stumbled over his podcast because he posted something on their Twitter handle, um, and I just figured I'd throw a plug in there for him too because he's always been a big supporter of ours.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Well, with that, thank you for joining us for this 81st episode of the Not Another Sports Podcast. You can find us online at our Linktree account, information that is in the episode description every week. It's in there. Click it. Go to our sites. We've been posting videos on TikTok. Find us on there. The show is available for streaming or download at Spotify, Apple Podcast, Podcast Addict, iHeartRadio,
Again, we're everywhere.
Pandora, Audible, Amazon Music. If you can listen to a podcast somewhere, you're going to find us, is really what it comes down to.
Pretty much.
The Sirius XM one still blows my mind that we're on Sirius XM. With that, I'm Jason.
I'm David.
And we're out of here.
Have a good one.